For those who fought in the Battle of Britain, it was a battle for survival. For the free world, it was a breathless moment in history. For failure would have plunged mankind into a new dark age. Never have so many owed so much to so few.
Sorry guys, that caught me out. Hello guys, welcome to the show. Sorry, basically what happened at the beginning, we were setting up all of our new setups, and I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday. I'm using a new version of StreamYard, and I wasn't able to upload the videos and things for the intro, so we had no intro today, and I put the intro up. So what I was sort of trying to casually do without anybody noticing I was doing it, which I failed, was have a look on the actual YouTube broadcast. Well, this is, and of course there's about a 10-second delay, so yeah, cocked that one up right at the beginning. So welcome to my show. So yesterday I did 7 issues of the Spitfire. I've kind of tried to plan what I'm doing today, and I think I've inadvertently ended up doing more work today. I will be doing more work. I'm planning on looking at the issues, and I think realistically I can get 5 issues done. But the 7 issues I did yesterday, 4 of the issues were either do nothing at all or do stick one label on. So we only actually really worked on 3 issues yesterday, and today I'm going to be working on 5. So see how it goes. Anyway, look, I have a wonderful guy in the background. Yeah, so yeah, I'll get to that comment in a bit, David. So yeah, here's my co-host for tonight. It's Chris Davis.
Yeah, hi guys.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's a good night last night. I thought it was first time doing the Spitfire in ages, and I was worried that I'd kind of lost that little bond with the Spitfire, but I think I picked that up quite quickly. I've had a few confidence issues over the last month or so, and I've had some really good friends behind me who have really helped support me, and that's what sort of basically they were really pushing me back and pushing me to come back. Sorry, not pushing me back. But yeah, so here I am, and the confidence is coming back. Right, I'll do a quick comment chat up before everything gets out of control. So David Bassett says, "Chocks away and tally ho."
Yeah, hi David.
Mike Tedstone, hello Penny, Chris, all.
Yeah.
Dave Mack, hello Dave Mack. Good evening, Penny and Chris. Good luck with your build tonight. I think I might need it. I think I might have bitten off more than I can chew tonight, but we will see.
Dave Mack. Oh, yeah.
David Bassett, scramble Penny and Chris, and then David Bassett, your stream is very blurry. Right, so I do apologise. I have an absolutely terrible broadband connection, and my computer setup is not fantastic. Since I came to Glasgow, my internet connection is worse than it ever was, and I'm having a struggle really.
You've got a wired you can use, Ben.
What's that?
You've got a wired you can use.
No, it's not that. It was when I was in Newport, I was on 50 megabits per second, and then I pushed it up to 100. Then I dropped it down to 50, and then they pushed it up to 100 without extra boost with free of charge.
Yeah.
Originally, years when I first started, I was on like 1, and I rang a different company up because the company I had before didn't service where I'd moved to. So I went to a different company and I told them, this is what I want to do. I need to do live streams, blah, blah, blah. And last time I measured my broadband speed, I'm getting about 8. Now, 8 is abysmal for anything this day and age, let alone someone who's streaming. So basically, it's nothing short of not fit for purpose. There is a ruling in the UK that if you say, I want to buy this product to do this, and they say, yes, you can do that with it, then if you can't do that with it, then it's not fit for purpose. You know, if you said, I want to buy a 1 litre car to pull a trailer with a dumper truck on the back, and then they say, yes, it is able to do that, and you buy that car and the car blows up, it's actually not fit for purpose. If they say to you, it's not capable of doing that, we don't recommend it, and then you go and buy it and it blows up, you've got no comeback. So the fact that the broadband company have said, yes, it's good enough for live streams. But as we know, with live streams, it's the computer, it's the equipment, it's the broadband speed. And so, and I'm really, really sorry if at any point it becomes unwatchable. But saying that, the camera that you're looking through right now is just my, what do we call it, portrait camera. This is just me saying hello. And then obviously we'll come back to this camera at the end of the show. Anyway, I digress. P40F20, Flight Lieutenant Blake, Hun cabbage crates inbound over the ditch. Get your section aloft, sharpish, good hunting. P40, thank you so much for the comment you made yesterday. Let me just find it because it is one of the funniest comments I've had on one of my shows for a long, long time. I'm assuming it's in reference to the cable label. So if you guys remember, I said for some reason, I don't know why, I suspect it's because it rhymes, but I giggle every time I see the words cable label. Oh, that's this show. Sorry, I've just seen, I don't know why. Sorry, bear with me. Love Minis. Why are you not a moderator on my channel?
Is that another maybe it's another YouTube channel?
Yeah, no, Love Minis has made a comment which has been held for review. Oh, I see. No, okay. Right, ignore me, guys. Sorry. Yeah, Penny's lost control of the show.
Yeah.
Penny's lost control of the show. Right. So, yeah, it's my broadband is awful. I am loading up yesterday's show and it says 4 comments, but it's only showing 1. Oh, I need to see this comment. Right. So I'll come back to that. It was, I've got to read it word for word because it is an absolutely brilliant comment. I'll see if I can find it. Can you remember when you made the comment? Sorry, I know I'm wrecking my own show here, aren't I? Here we are. Right. I found it. So this, it's really made me laugh. I just had a bit of a tiring afternoon and I came home to this. So you see how welcome it was. The pellet with the poison in it, in the vessel with the pestle, the cable with the label has the brew that is true. And that just really made me laugh. So thank you for that, P40. That was brilliant. Anyway, so Love Minis says, if I can find my cursor. Oh.
You're struggling without pens in your hand?
Pardon?
If you're struggling, just let me know that I can get the comments up before you.
Yeah, no, I've lost control of my own PC. I have 3 monitors and I have 1 on a lower shelf and 2 on a higher. So they're kind of in a V shape. And I've got it positioned so that I have to come down into the corner to come down to the middle. And if I come in too high, it doesn't come off. And I'm like, I can't find my cursor. Yeah. So Lovemin says, hi, gang. Dave Bassett, good evening to you both. David Bassett, Agora reissuing the Route Master in September. Yeah, I found out about that today from my very good friend Chris Davis. But
I found out myself.
There was 2. We suspected for a long time that Route Master was going to be coming out with Agora. I had a contact in Agora and I had mentioned it. This is a long time ago. And I'd said, oh, you're doing the Terminator. And I said, are you going to be doing the route master? Because if you're doing harshette builds, and this contact she wouldn't confirm it. She wasn't allowed to tell me that they were bringing the route master out, but they weren't denying it. And I was really kind of pushing that. And they told me that they were going to be bringing out harshette builds. And yeah, I suspected for a long time that the route master was going to be coming out. How do I feel about it? I'm not 100% sure, because I'd originally planned to do 2 route masters, and I had a lot of the issues stolen from my car, so I'd given up on the second one. And I knew I'd never get them back, so I kind of took a bit of comfort in saying, okay, fine, I've lost the issues, but I've still got one of every issue, so I can still build my main one. So I've still got a route master. So on the one hand, I've got the opportunity to do that project again, but then on the other hand, do I need 2 route masters, especially with my finances the way they are at the moment? But what really, really excited me is the fire truck, and it looks to me like a New York fire truck. I might be wrong. Now, being American myself, and my family comes from the New York state, so all things New York, I don't know, and I swear this is in the blood, because I have been excited about New York things before I even found out I came from New York. But New York fire truck, come on, New York fire truck. The speculation is, which particular era is it coming from? Is it, for example, the 9/11 era? That could be quite iconic, couldn't it?
Yeah.
But it's got to be. See, I don't think it's going to be the one that I really love. And there's one that I love. I think it's the ladder tender, and it's basically an articulated fire engine. You have the cab, and then you have the back is a trailer. And then you've got the guy on the back of the trailer. He's steering the trailer independently. And as this thing's going around corners, the trailer is coming right out wide. And then you see this guy on the back like this. That's the one I absolutely love. But I don't think they would do that one, because that's not the iconic fire truck. But would you do a fire truck if funds weren't an issue?
Probably.
See, I think they have to do a Dalmatian with it as well.
Yeah.
Got to, because again, Dalmatians, fire service, it all goes together now. Anyway, David Bassett says it's better now. That comment suggests to me that it's internet more than anything else. Mike Tedstone says it's the other account. P40 stole and repurposed a line from the Danny Kaye movie, The Court Jester. Let me just write that down. Am I writing down the name of the title, or am I writing down the fact that P40 is self-confessed that he's a thief? Stealing line from films, one black mark. So David Bass says it's the candle with the handle quote from LOLO. Right, okay. Oh, of course, Danny Kaye. Isn't Danny Kaye? No, I'm thinking Gordon Kaye. Oh, it's the LA France one. I think the Goa one is shorter one with a ladder on the top. La France one. Right, okay. So this is an opportunity for me to be a little bit more of an expert on a new subject. The only thing is, with Agora, I haven't done never done an Agora exclusive model, but with a Terminator, you lost a lot. You lost 90% of the magazine, 90% of the articles. So if they're going to be doing 10 issues a month, what information are we going to get on the fire engine? So, that's an interesting one. Horlicks, good luck with the build. Thank you, Horlicks. I appreciate that. Right, so we're going to have to crack on, because like I said, I've inadvertently given myself more work than I did last night. Like I say, we did 7 issues last night, but the reality of it is two of the issues were look at this wonderful part, and two of them was stick the label on the part. So we only really did 3 issues last night. I had a look at what we're doing, what I thought we could do tonight, and I thought 58 would be a good place to stop, because it's basically working, carrying on the wing flaps. And then issue 59 is the left. Is it left fuselage? I don't know. We haven't got that far yet. It just says a frame for the fuselage and screws. So I thought that'd be a really good place to start. I've also got a new tripod for my little Diddy camera, so I might try and use that a bit more today. And I forgot it's got telescopic legs. See, no expenses spared here. I think this was a whole pound from Poundland for this tripod. So, you know, only the very best for everyone. Right, so have you got the instructions, Chris?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they're ready.
Let's find ourselves a nice little view.
That feels all right.
Let's crack on, and we'll see how we get on. God, that's a little bit high up, isn't it? Now you see what can you see that? That's my view. You see, we've got 3 monitors there, and that's why I get in a muddle. Right, so use the tripod leg, but we'll try and get on with this then. Oh, another thing, guys. We've noticed that issue 54 and 55 are pretty much the same as per a lot of the work on the wing. So we'll go through the parts and we'll do 54 exactly as we would normally do it, but then we'll go straight into 55 because it's effectively a repeat of 54. So sorry, bear with me because I can't get the packaging open. It was really hard to open that packaging, and I didn't want to pull it too hard because you know you'll sit there pulling, all of a sudden it will. So right, what do we got then, Chris? Do you want to read the mag out?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It says in issue 54 Spitfire Mk1a.
Yep.
All hinges are fitted to the left wing flap so that it can be attached to the wing. There we go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like we're actually fitting it to the wing. It just looks like we're prepared. No, we are actually fitting it. And I can see how this is all going in now and why we're doing it in the order we're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Fantastic. So I can sense.
There's a spray one now.
I'm going to have to purchase. I'm going to have to find my things. All right. Sprue cutters. Right. Okie dokie. So what have we got first then?
So 5401 is left wing flap.
Right. Oh God, that was unexpected. This is metal.
Wow.
So I was not expecting that. That is metal, and that is really nice detailing on there. Can you see those rivets, guys?
Not really.
Okay, you might see it better on this one. But that detailing, the problem is with the camera, I've got a fixed view camera, fixed focus.
Is that the C920?
Pardon?
Is that the Logitech C920 you're using?
No, this is a Logi Turbo. I bought one to try out because it was about 20-30 pounds, and I thought it was pretty good. It has its limitations. It's an adjustable fixed focus. It doesn't autofocus, but you've got a little dial on the lens which you can move. I actually put one on my wish list, and a very, very kind subscriber bought me another one. So I'll be honest with you, I don't know if this is the one that I bought or the one that my kind subscriber bought. But it's that camera, and it's, do you know what? The amount of money I've spent on webcams, this one has stuck with me all the while. It's such a, I'm putting it through a lot, and it helps. Well, if as long as you know what a camera can and can't do, you can work really well with it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what are the next parts then?
Yeah. Part 2 is arm of hinge.
Right. So we've got 2 and 3 are called the arm of hinge.
Yeah, one's
Just need a second to work out what's what. Now, that is part number 2. I can see, I'm trying to compare it to the
yeah, it's got like a bend in it.
Yeah, and I can see that it's got the number 3 on it. And then this other one, by process elimination, that's got the number 4 on it, which I don't know if those numbers are deliberate. Perhaps they're meant to be part numbers, but it got reviewed. So the one with number 3 is actually piece 2, and the piece with number 4 is actually piece 3. I don't know if it was intended to be 3 and 4, but probably not. But at least they are in numerical order. Yeah. Number 2 is number 3, and number 3 is number 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next piece, number 4.
Yeah, hinge fixing plate L1 and L2 on the sprue.
Okay, and I can see that. I can't see. We've got L1 and L2. That's really, really handy.
Yeah.
So you can see they've actually labeled them L1, L2. So that's really, really useful. And then that should leave us with 2 more parts.
Yeah, part 5 is hinge pin times 2.
Okay, and there's the hinge pins hinge pins times 2. Now there's 3 in there, which is extremely useful.
Yeah.
And because issue 55 is exactly the same, that gives us 2 spare pins between the 2. So maybe it is actually worthwhile doing 54, 55 together, because if you lose one from one issue, there's a possibility that by the time you wait a week and then do issue 55, you might make the same mistake. Yeah. Whereas doing them both together, you might only lose one between them. So
then part 6 is 5 1.7 times 3 mil PB screws, 1 spare.
Perfect. Right. So I'm just going to confirm. Right. So the parts that we have for next week or the next issue.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to get the packaging open, but the packaging is already open. So I'm going to get the screws out and I'm going to put them all into one pot because they're all exactly the same. So I've got in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there should be 12 screws then. And do you know what? I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to put these little hinges in the same section. So while I'm doing that, would you like to read out stage 1?
Yeah, of course. So stage 1 then. Stage 1, take the wing flap hinge arm 54.2 and fit a hinge pin 54.5 through the hole as indicated. Note that the hinge part has the number 3 on it, blue arrow. The insert above shows the hinge pin in place. So that confirms what you were thinking.
Yes. Now, believe it or not, guys, I didn't look at the packaging before I opened it, but I've either lost one of these hinge pins already, or they only gave me 2 in the other packet. So there you go. That was interesting. Right. So we've got the pin, and I can see that they've got it upright because the number 3 is showing. And then all we're going to do is very carefully, we're just going to pop that through like that. Now that, as you can see, is very loose. So I personally am going to put that back into the pot like that. And then if the pin falls out, there you go, which it just did, look. It did actually fall out. So if it falls out again, I'm not actually going to put the pin back in again until I'm actually ready to fit the part. So there you go, it just fell out again. So let's pretend we've put that in. And let's have a look at stage 2 then.
Yeah, do you want to catch up in the comments? Because I've just seen one which is in
probably. Yeah. Okay. It's the candle with the handle quote from that. That's the La France one. Horlick says good luck with the build. Dave Back, I think it'll be the same with the Routemaster Penny. Will be done in 12 packs. Well, being 120 issues, and they often do 10 packs per issue, I think that's how they're going to do it. $99.99 a month for 12 months.
Yes.
P40. For the right wing flap, you will need to file some paint off the hinge parts. It will stick and not move freely otherwise. Right, I will bear that in mind. And when we come to yeah, I've got sandpaper and I've got scrapey things, some scrapey things, not as much as I'd like, but yeah. So yeah, appreciate that, P40. Thank you very much.
P40, I've seen that myself. Yeah,
right.
That's a step 2 then.
Step 2.
Yeah, take the ring flap 54-1 and identify the fixing point for the hinge at the edge of the flap. Fit the hinge pin 54.5 into the recess. And it says in your note that in this view, the number is facing downwards. The insert above shows the pin in place.
Okay. Now, this is looking like it's going to be fiddly. Let me explain. So we've got this wing and then we've got this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That might not be so bad. So we need to can you see there's a small channel there?
Yeah.
It's harder to see on the black, but we just bring that in and that's not really quite so bad because that is this the bit that you says is going to need filing? Because for me, that is
on the right wing. That's for.
Oh, on the right wing. Okay. Oh, yeah, you did say the right. Now, the bit where I'm not comfortable, is that it looks like that's how we're leaving it at this stage. Now, how long is it going to take the average person to lose that pin? Because I can see if you look at stage 3, it's now going to ask us to work on the other side.
Yeah. And
then it's going to ask us to put. So look, guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to progress. I'm going to jump to step 5 and then we'll come back to step 3. Basically, step 2 is to put that on there like that. Step 3 is to make the other one. And then step 4 is to put the other one on. Then step 5 is to bolt that down with these pieces. And then step 6 is to bolt the other one down. That for me is not a great order because look, can you see how easy that is? I'm going to leave that. So yeah, if you don't mind, after doing stage 2, I'm recommending. Oh, and I've done that the wrong way around. See, look, I've just lost the pin and it's rolled all over the floor or rolled all over the table. So that's actually the correct way around, isn't it? So I'm going to put that there like, see this pin. Once it's in, I can clearly see that is going to be really secure. It needs to be loose because there needs to be movement. But if we jump to step 5, we can then we won't need to worry.
Yeah,
worry
do one at a time.
Do one at a time.
Yeah,
it's daft to balance that piece there, then balance that piece there, then secure that one down while still balancing that one there. Then you won't need to worry about that. Now let's just get that one secure. So step 5.
Yeah, right for step 5 then, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, cut part L1 from the frame 54.4 and check how it fits over the hinge pin of hinge arm 54.2. Apply a little super glue to the recess on the wing flap 54.1.
Oh, it's a blue part.
And fix part L1 in place. See insert right. Note that we have rotated the parts since the previous step.
Brilliant. Right. Okay. So of the 2 on the sprue, this is the L1. Now, what I would normally say to you, when you cut it off, it's going to leave, I think these are called sprue nubs. It's really, really hard to get that flush unless you got like a £4 million pair of sprue cutters.
Or the ones we got there from Amazon.
Yeah, as you can see, I've got a fairly good set. But it might just be worthwhile just giving that a file. And I had a piece of sandpaper this morning and I left it there ready for the show. Well, I didn't leave it for the show. I left it as in that will come in useful one day. And now it's disappeared. So, right, I'm going to cheat then. I'm going to just use my knife, which... don't do as I do, guys.
No.
And I can see that's painted plastic now because as I file it, it's taking it off. So I'm going to do a dry fit. And this is one of the reasons why I love super glue. Right, that is a really good fit, actually. So look, once it's secure, look, you see how secure that is?
Yeah.
So... and unfortunately, I have to use my not favourite super glue because I trust anybody once, but I lent my good super glue to someone about a month ago, and I don't seem to have had it returned. So someone is not going to be borrowing stuff off me anymore. Right, be careful with the glue. Obviously, don't bring the glue right up to the hinge because you're going to stop that from moving. All you need to do is stick that piece of plastic on there. And I'm going to push and hold. So look, so long as you're ending up with that, that's perfect.
All right.
Look at that. So now, obviously, this glue needs time to cure. It's got a very short sticking time. As you can see from there. Oh, yeah. See, I can with force pull it off. But it has a short sticking time, but you really need to leave it overnight to fully cure.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, obviously, I can't broadcast all through the night and show you, but in the morning I will just check that.
Yeah. The next week then we can come back to it. And
yeah, if anyone is asking for a recommendation for glue, that is not my most preferred one. I do love my Gorilla Glue, but
what do you think of them glues, or they stink to high heaven?
Well, I mean,
Strong
obviously we're taking precautions like using it in a well ventilated room.
Yeah.
Glues, I'm led to believe they can be flammable, so you don't want to be doing a lot of gluing near an open flame.
Oh, well, the soldering, everything. Or...
yeah, and obviously take I mean, you should be doing this anyway, but take regular breaks away from the model. You know, maybe you shouldn't really be doing more than two magazines at a time. We're all right because we take a little break in between each stage.
It's like a PS4, isn't it? Like what we do.
Yeah, always take a break. If your eyes are focusing on one small task, whether it be computer games, writing, whatever, give it a little break. Now, I've just done a little cheat. I've just cut this off because it goes without saying we're going to be needing this part. We know that, don't we? We know that what we're going to be, we will read through the instructions, but we know we're now going to do exactly the same on the other flap. So would you like to go to stage 3 for me? So we've gone from stage 2 to stage 5, back to stage 3 and 4, and then on to stage 6.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, back to stage 3. Right. Take wing flap hinge arm 54.3 and fit a hinge pin 54.5 through the hole as indicated. Note that this hinge part has the number 4 on it, blue arrow. The insert right shows the hinge pin in place, basically. Yeah. Right.
So what it's doing is it's asking us to take this piece with the number 4 on it, and it's asking us to pop this pin in through there, exactly like we did on this one. And then step 4.
Step 4 is it?
Yep. I nearly jumped ahead. I did that yesterday, didn't I? I actually assembled the part before you'd read the instructions out.
What Chris Capelli does it with me, so it's all right.
Yeah.
But it's still a bit funny. Take the wing flap 54.1 and identify the fixing point for the second hinge at the edge of the flap. Fit the hinge pin 54.5 into the recess. Note that in this view, the number is facing downwards. The insert above shows the pin in place. So basically what you do, yeah.
Yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do is keep your finger pressed on that so the pin doesn't come out.
Yeah.
Turn it over, and we've done very well there because we haven't lost a pin.
No.
And I'm going to place that on there exactly like I did with the other pin.
Yeah.
And then that takes us to step 6. And I'm just going to turn this around so that it matches the orientation of the magazine.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
So step 6 then, cut part L2 from the frame 54.4 and check how it fits over the hinge pin of hinge arm 54.3. Apply a little super glue to the recess on the wing flap 54.1 and fix part L2 in place. See insert right. Allow the glue to dry thoroughly before going on to the next step.
Right. So I have already cut this off. You saw me do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pop it on and do a dry fit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll remove.
It sounds like bagpipes in your end.
Sorry?
It sounds like someone's playing bagpipes.
Do you know what? I'm so sorry. I didn't think anyone noticed. It was actually the PlayStation is on the main menu. So
that's all right. That's just what it was.
I realised this. Well, look, I do this thing right where I think, oh, something's cocked up, but I'm not going to say anything. I don't know if anyone will notice, and I guarantee you, someone will notice. But in all fairness, it's usually P40 who notices everything, and he does keep me on the ball. But this time it was you. So
I thought it was bagpipes at first.
No, it's I have my PlayStation set. The theme, you can change the themes.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The theme that I have is a Red Dead Redemption theme. So what happens is
that the background then?
It's the background, yes. So I actually have the Red Dead Redemption music playing on my PlayStation. Yeah. So if you know the Red Dead music, you'll think I'm playing Red Dead, even when I'm just watching YouTube or something.
Yeah, I just got the plain blue one I have.
Yeah, you can do it plain. I was larking about. Right, I'm going to be a little bit careful there. I've put just a tiny bit too much glue, and it's come up through the holes. So obviously if I touch that, but the hinge is still moving very, very. As you can see, look, both the hinges are moving fine.
Lovely.
So what I'm going to do, right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. It's saying about allowing the glue to dry, and I did put a tiny bit too much glue. I say this repeatedly, and I think it's worth saying over and over. If you put more glue on, it won't stick any harder. But what it will do is take longer to dry. With super glue, less really is more. But as it's asking us to make sure the glue is thoroughly dry, and I said that I'm going to do the 55 exactly the same, shall we just go through that again with issue 55?
Yeah,
just issue 55, yeah. And obviously you don't need to read the instructions out because I can tell you what I'm doing, because it's a repeat of the previous one.
Screen for a minute then if you want.
Yeah. Is that okay with you guys? So basically I am just going to repeat that again. I was going to wait till I finished the issue, but we've got an opportunity here to just let that glue dry. So I'm going to take the wing and I'm going to place it like so, and that's going to be my work area. And then we have, this is the pins that we need to keep an eye on. So I can see one has, geez, my eyesight. I think I need to go to the optician. Right, that one is number 6. That is number 5. So I'm going to put them there because I'm placing them in numerical order. And it says number 5, which is this one, requires a pin. And the pin is going in there through the middle. And see, I'm just dropping the pin left, right, and center. Now, I'm just going to call that comment out again, just to A, tell you that I am taking note, and B, to remind everybody else, if I can get this pin to stay in.
Yeah.
I think, to quote Julia Roberts, slippery little sucker, isn't it? Right, so P40 said earlier on, for the right wing flap, you will need to file some paint off the hinge parts. It will stick and not move freely otherwise.
Yeah,
so we'll take this one step at a time, and we'll see if there's any bits that are sticking, and we'll discover where P40 means. Right, so this, I'm going to turn it around this way now because I want to match the orientation of the magazine. I want to turn it over. I want to place that into there. Make sure that that pin is in the channel. And then we want to take, jumping to step 5, we want to take the part R2, which is this one there. And again, this is where test fitting will come in useful. I hope that P40, even if I've got to the bit where he wants me to file it off, he's quite comfortable and going, that's okay. Penny's test fitting, and by test fitting, she will discover where the problem part is.
That's the best thing to do first off. Dry fit,
Like, please do not do as I'm doing on this knife. It's not the correct way to cut. You should use a file. If you do insist on using a knife, always cut away from you.
If there's any under 18 watching, please get an adult to help you. Do not.
Yeah. And I won't say if you're under 18. I'll say if you are young or incapable. Right. Okay. I'll be honest, P40. I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to say this is not the part that you want me to file, because that looks pretty fantastic to me. So,
unless some of them have problems, maybe yours might be okay.
So, Flight Lieutenant Blake, cruising high over London, sees a Jerry fighter hot on the tail of another Spitfire. Quickly, she dives onto the tail of the Hun fighter. Do you know what? Yes, I would do that. And I do that on Red Dead, don't I? I'm in there. We're after, I don't know, bounty targets or whatever, and I see someone in trouble, and I think on occasion I've died saving somebody else, haven't I? Well, obviously it's a little bit different with computer games, because in real life you can only die once. There is no respawn button in real life. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad. Do you think life would be better if it had a respawn button?
Don't know. Depends what you're respawning.
Well, on computer games, you don't mind. I mean, it's like, do you remember all those times when I need to get somewhere quickly, so I just dive off a cliff and die and respawn somewhere else, knowing I'll be closer?
That's like me,
yeah, if you know you'll get another life, you don't really care so much about the life you're on at the moment, do you?
No.
Right, there we go. I hope I've done that. I'm expecting a comment from P40 any minute now. Go, no, don't glue that in. And I'll go, it's too late. So let's do a quick comparison to this one. I can see it's a mirror image. So you see this smaller hinge is both close to the middle or the outside, depending on which way these flaps go. So, right, so I'm going to get this one ready there. So going on to back to step 3, number 6, we have the pin. And there we go. That's in there like so. That's then going to be turned around, and that's going to be placed onto there like so. I actually used less glue there, and I think that that's done a better job than this one, and even this first one. So you know, I keep saying it, but yeah, with super glue, less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know, if you use more glue, like I say, it's not any stronger than using just a little bit of glue, but it's a hell of a lot more cost effective.
Yeah.
You know, how much have I used on these 4 parts? Three.
Nothing.
Yeah, it is literally, I've just scraped the end off the nozzle. Right, so
I done the task a couple of weeks. Good for, you know, when I had this desk.
right. This is the one I think that P40 might be referring to about removing paint. See how this one is really loose?
Yeah.
This one isn't. So let's see if we can work that.
Probably can.
That's loosening up a little bit. All right. P40, can you confirm if that's the one that you're asking me to just give it a little bit of a file? Because this one seems a little bit stiff. So I just want to try and remove this flat, because one thing I want to check if that pin is actually in the little channel properly. Because if it's not in the channel properly, it's not going to move. Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the hinge which is, yeah, look. If you look on this hinge, no, this one, you can actually physically see, if you look really closely, you can just see the hinge.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a gap and you can see the hinge. Whereas this one, that hinge is exactly the same width. So I don't want this to come across the wrong way. I would have spotted that. Oh. I thought I'd lost the pen. Doesn't matter because we've got a spare one. But right, so instead of filing, I'm just going to scrape it with a knife. I feel I can be a little bit more precise with the knife, but filing would probably be better.
Yeah. I have to just glue one, cut them when I had this desk to repair it.
No, I tell a lie. I'm going to file that.
Yeah.
Because it's, I'll be honest with you, I can't find that bit of sandpaper I'm looking for. So I'm trying to get away with not using sandpaper. But I really am.
Spitfire, is it?
Oh, I found it, look, as I looked for it. This is a little bit too rough. This is 1500. But if I file it very gently, so you see how I'm getting the edge of the sandpaper, and I'm just going to file, because I really do not know how much of this hinge will be visible on the finished model. So I'm trying to get away with filing as little as I possibly can. And what I'm going to do now is, can you see how, you probably can't see it. The paint is sort of a satin color, slightly shiny. I've only filed it just to take the shine off the paint, and then I've sort of worked out how many rubs of the sandpaper it takes to do that, and then we'll try it again, and then I can just take a little bit of time. I think this is really going to just require patience. And time, and it may not matter if I took too much off, but it's I think it's going to matter if we don't take enough off.
Exactly. Yeah.
So look, I can see that's not enough, but I can feel okay. So P40 saying go down to the bare metal, but I can feel that that's improvement. But that's what we're after, isn't it? P40. This sort of movement, it needs to move. That is definitely not moving freely. So, okay, so P40 says go down to the bare metal. So, if I trust P40 a lot, so if he says go down to the bare metal, then bare metal will be exposed.
Yeah. It's like when you're sanding something down, when you upcycle it, you go to the bare bones.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to take it to there. I've got some bare metal, but not all of it. And while I'm here, I might just if I put my fingernail in the right place, I might be able to double up as a bit of a manicure as well. Nails out. What would be better for this actually, rather than using sandpaper? Emery sticks, and yeah, they're not where I normally keep them. Because this a single sheet of paper is quite flexible.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got this. Do you know, when I was in the hotel, when I came up to Scotland to start the agency job, they put me in a hotel for a month.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was very nice. Whoops, sorry guys, I just knocked the camera over. But at the end of the day, it was a hotel and not your home.
Yeah.
And I couldn't obviously bring everything up. And I did well to bring 2 big suitcases, and I became a little bit sensible. I brought 1 big suitcase full of stuff, and then I brought a smaller suitcase empty, because that's not quite, I'm not 100% happy with that, but you can see it's a lot better, can't you? So so I did bring an empty suitcase as well, because full well, if you stay in a hotel for a month,
you got to look more.
Yeah, but I think I'm the only person in the world that can come into a hotel with 1 full suitcase and then leave with 2 full suitcases, a few boxes, and a bed. Because I bought a bed. I bought a bed while I was staying in the hotel.
Yeah.
It was quite funny because I'd seen a bed for like £20 because I moved into an unfurnished flat. And
was it?
Yeah, I bought this bed. It was meant to be a folding metal frame camp bed, a good camp bed. And I thought, that'll do. It's not going to be the best bed in the world, but it will do me until I get something better. And it was meant to be like 10 or 20 pounds. And I messaged a few people and I said, look, I'm really sorry. I said, can you deliver? And they said, most people just didn't even reply. But one guy went, yeah, no problems. And then we arranged this time, and he turned up with his 6-foot girl's padded pink bed. And I reckon he must have had 2 beds for sale, and 1 camp bed and his daughter's old bed. And then of course he charged me more money for it. But to be honest with you, apart from the colour, and it's got these fake jewels stamped into the bed, it's an all right actually. And it was the mattress isn't the best in the world, but it's I don't need a new bed, I need a new mattress, which is better than needing a new bed and a new mattress, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
So don't know if you noticed, but I filed the paint off. I gave a little bit of a file on. Oh, look at that. Group Commander P40. Are you happy with that?
That's good.
Yeah.
Looks like a spring now.
And look, you can see the pin underneath now. So I have actually taken quite a bit off. And yeah. Wow. So make sure there's no dust in it, because dust will affect the stickiness of the flap. Even though I'm sure that's absolutely fine, I am going to get confirmation from P40. Yeah, there we go. That's the ticket. Dave Max says looking good.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm panicking now because we've still got another 3 issues to go. And I said, oh, we only need 2 hours for the show today. But let's be honest. When I say a 10 o'clock finish, who on this planet goes, oh, Penny says 10 o'clock. Yeah, I can arrange to do something at 10:05. You know me, I can say I'll finish at 3 in the afternoon, and everyone will go, right, well, that's my afternoon. That's my evening gone. So
Yeah, because
yeah. So yeah, just to confirm, I should have said this earlier on. This wing flap is looking like the inside, but these hinges are looking like the outside. I would call that the inside of the flaps, the hinges, because they got the numbers on. But yeah, look.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks like a pair of earrings.
240 says, where is it? The proper operation of the flaps depends on them being free swinging.
Yeah.
So I guess because they're metal, they're heavier. To have them down, it just kind of releases them, and then to have them up, you're going to have something pulling them. So I think that will. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think that glue is set enough for us to continue work on it. I would not call that fully set. I would give it, shall we say 12 flats? It probably even says on the bottle. No, it doesn't. It'll probably say on the leaflet that came with it. But if you want to give that a good 12 hours before you consider that stuck down properly. Right. So let's go back to issue 54 and stage 7. Yeah. And I wonder if this is going to confirm a lot of things that I said yesterday, because I can see that little sleeve.
Yeah. So ready for step 7 then?
Step 7, yeah.
Yeah. Take the model assembly on its stand from the previous issue. Identify the wire cable 481 that is fitted along the rear edge of the left wing. Check that the tube covering the cable is fitted correctly between 2 raised elements in the wing frame 23-1. The details on the right show the raised elements at each end of the recess in part 23-1.
Sorry guys, bear with me a sec. I've got a mouse issue. There we go. So if you ever hear me banging, for some reason I'm one of the old school that when something isn't working, I'll bang it. You know, like when a TV remote doesn't work because the batteries are dead.
Yeah.
Do I replace the batteries? No, I bang it. Right, sorry, yeah, I've got my mouse back now. Right, so what I've been trying to do while you were doing that, and I'm going to move this up. So what the area that it's dealing with, this is 48.1. Do you remember we mentioned about this collar? And I said yesterday the reason for this collar is to prevent damage to this plastic piece while this is moving. I can now see that it's also going to prevent damage to this wing flap, because this, I can see this, although we haven't got that far yet, I can see that it's going to go over. So basically what this is doing is identifying this cable, and it's getting us to double check that metal tube.
Yeah.
And actually one thing I've noticed is that this metal tube seems to have a channel. I didn't notice that before. So look, can you see this? Let me move this. I'm trying to get this in as close as I can. This might work.
Yeah.
This might just work. Sorry guys for dizzy cam. Right. So we have this metal tube. Can you see at the moment I can move it backwards and forwards? If I move it to there, it kind of falls into a tiny channel. Let's see if I can. It's very hard to see, but there's a little stopper there. It's really, really tiny. And I didn't notice that until now. So if you're not sure, just move. Can you see I've just moved that a little bit too far down? So just get that and just move it up and down. And now that's in position. Because I can now see, if you want to now reach stage 8,
yeah,
you'll see that it needs to be in that position for a very good reason. And I'm going to try and, sorry guys about the camera moving it around. I think I might be able to move this. Yeah. Are you guys all right me working upside down? I do like you to see the same thing I do, but by positioning the camera here, I can work on that angle. But
Yeah,
you won't see the same as me. Can you see how my fingers are coming from the bit towards me and coming away from me, but for you, they're coming towards you. So if you're all right with that. So yeah, step 8.
Yeah, step 8. Take the wing flap assembly and fit the two hinge arms 54-2 and 54-3 over the tube section of the cable assembly 481. The shaped ends of the hinge arms fit into recesses into the wing frame 23-1.
Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do is something that I've always been guilty of, and as of yesterday, I've been trying to sort of get into the habit of, and I'm gonna load the first screw up on my screwdriver. So there's the first screw that I'm going to use loaded up on the screwdriver. You won't see it because I'll put it off camera. So this wing flap, you can see on the hinges, we've got 4 holes, 2 on this one and 2 on this one. And we've got a couple of holes there and we've got a couple of holes there. Now, I'm going to do something very silly to prove a point. That's the correct way to go in. And you can see that fits quite nicely. You see how the hinges go over the tube. And now you see why that tube has got to be there. Because it then means that both of them are going over. Now, yeah. I'm going to purposely, because you could be tempted to do it this way. But look, you can see from the position of the screw holes, there's just no way that one's going in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position that there. Now I've got a bit of an issue here in that you see the shape of the box here. Whether I don't know if I've put too much tape on in the wrong positions and misshaped it, or if it's meant to have done that, I don't know. But I might just have to get a pair of scissors and just, I'm going to do that. If you guys can bear with me, I'm going to cut a little bit of this off just to give me, there we go. And I'm going to do the same to the other side because we know this Spitfire is supposed to be symmetrical. How it comes out with me, I don't know. So, no, it should be all right. There we go. That's a much better fit because this wing flap's now got a place to go. So I'm going to get any one of these 4 screws and I'm going to go. Have I jumped ahead?
I think you have.
Stage 9 because before I jump out.
Yeah, stage 9 is check that the screw holes in the hinges arms 54-2 and 54-3 are aligned with the screw sockets in the wing frame 23-1. Fix each hinge arm in place with 2 1.7 times 3 mil screws. Do not over tighten the screws. Yeah.
So I was going to say, but it's beaten me to it. We are going to be screwing into plastic. Yeah. So all I've done with that screw is I've put it in enough to bite. Now I've got to be careful because that's only hanging on by 1 screw. So I'm going to pop the second screw on. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this screw into the other hinge. Just enough to bite. Oops, sorry, guys. There you go. And that's on. So now I'll put another 2 screws in. You know me, I like to work one side, then the other, then the first side, then the second side. So, but you could equally do that screw next. But I've not fully tightened these screws. 2 reasons. One, I like to try and keep them even. And secondly, and I can't see how this can go wrong, but if I have just put it in wrong, I've not cut the threads into the plastic so much that I can undo it easily. Yeah. Right, so they're in enough to bite. We now check this, and I would say that's really nice. And I can see now that there's a little pin there, and I guess that's how it's going to control the flaps. So now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to tighten the screws up. Now, the way I'm going to tighten the screws, I'm just going to hold the end of the screwdriver like this. and I'm just gonna let the screw tell me when it's in enough.
Yeah.
You'll feel the resistance increase. There it is. You can always tighten up even further, but if you do over tighten,
You could damage apart.
could strip it apart. It feels to me like we get this almost all the time. We only really need 2 screws to secure these, one on one hinge, one on the other. So as they always do, they've given us too many screws, which is much more secure.
Yeah.
Right, so this is quite difficult to check. I want to check that's tight, but I can't get the hinge very well. So the wobble that I've got is the flap, not the hinge.
Yeah.
So I do think they're tight. I don't think there's any movement. And you see that has gone over the pipe. That I'm very happy with. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's good. And that's stage complete.
So that's issue 54 done. So 55, obviously we've already made this flap. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly the same again on the other side. So I'm going to remove the instructions and go full screen. And then bear with me, guys. I do apologize for dizzy cam. I'm going to move the camera to there, and I can't get quite the same position. There we go. So this is the part I'm now going to work on. What's that green thing in the background? It's not even green. Right, so load up one screw onto the screwdriver. I think I have bitten off more than I can chew. Right, so test, fit. Oh, let's do the pipe first. So now that we know how the pipe works, I'm going to deliberately move the pipe off center. Can you see how that's off? And you see that I can slide the pipe there. Now it's gone home. So now it's in exactly the right position. Because obviously if that's raised a little bit, the hinge may not go home properly. Oh, that's not fitting. Oh, yes, I've got it upside down. So
Oops.
there we go. So yeah, I think that's a good fit. So first screw in just enough to bite.
Like me, no joking.
Got to be careful because this hinge hasn't got anything holding it on. Yeah. You will get away with that for a minute or two, but not much longer. So oops.
Put my on a darkening now.
And there's my second screw in enough to bite.
Yeah. Done really well, Pen, and that's really good.
Yeah, it's getting exciting. It really is. I showed my friend this today. It's the first time he's seen any of the model, so it was quite hard to explain what I'd done yesterday. But I thought yesterday there isn't much physically to show. You know, we've attached this wire and we've attached the 2 motors, but I think that's a really exciting step forward. Can't test the motors, and I meant to say that yesterday, guys. Please do not be tempted to test any of the flaps when they're attached to motors, because especially with those threads being plastic, I know you all want to, and and don't start plugging anything into the mowers. We could take these wires and we could plug something in, and trust me, no one's more eager to test them than me.
That'd be good if you could.
Yeah, but they're going to give us some kind of circuit board that's going to control just the exact amount of power going to these mowers, or they better do anyway. Right, that's in. So there's 2 flaps for you, and I'm really happy with that. Really happy with that. And we've just extended the wing a little bit more, so we've just started to round that wing off, so it's now a nice shape. So would you like to get issue 50?
Yeah, 6.
Now this is, I know, is going to be a short issue. I hope it. Well, it looks like it's going to be a short issue. It's either going to be a short issue or they've forgotten to give us quite a few parts. So I'm just moving my camera back.
Yeah, it is a short one.
Yeah. I'll say if it's not a short issue, we're missing an awful lot of parts. Right.
Issue 56, Spitfire Mk1a.
Lovely.
Yeah, in the it says in the top of this magazine, says build a Spitfire, parts and instructions for attaching a label for the cable of the aileron motor which will be fitted in the next issue.
Brilliant.
So the only thing is the motor of the leader is part 1.
Okay, so what we got then?
The motor first.
Do you know what? I think it's probably taken me longer to open the magazine than it will actually make doing this part. But here is one motor and cable.
Yeah.
And
the cable, the label.
This is a DC motor. This looks like a DC motor to me. It's a motor that's going to go round forwards and backwards. I don't know. We'll confirm that later. And that's quite a long cable compared to the other motors. So, right. And then there is the label.
Yeah, that's part 2, yeah.
M6. And we take that label off. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead, aren't I? I do apologise. So we take that label there.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's just,
yeah.
On the end, it's basically what the instructions are saying, so...
Yeah. And I like to keep it roughly about a thumb width. Sorry, I've gone off camera. I like to put it about a thumb width away from the connector, just so that when you're plugging it in, and you notice I try and keep it parallel with the connector, so I can hold it like that.
Yeah.
That's just my preference. That might be the best way to do it. It might be the worst way to do it. I don't know. But it's not gone wrong for me.
If you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
Exactly. I haven't done any damage to any parts yet doing it that way.
No, you haven't upset anyone, so if they're not happy with it, that's their business, not yours.
Right, so now all of a sudden we've gone to 3 issues complete. Well, that was a hard one, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, that took us how long? 2 hours?
That was a long first 2 issues, and that was longer. I think what's happened is we've done a lot of simpler issues.
Yeah, and
you kind of get it into your mind, oh, this is going to be a quick one. And I kind of forgot. It takes me twice as long because obviously I'm explaining everything. But no, that's fine. And like I say, you know, if although I've taken these issues out of the packet, the packets out of the issues, you notice that I just write a little chalk marker on them and I have the issue number on. So it's fine. If we don't, the only thing I try to do is if I actually open these packets, I like to finish the issue. But if I don't, if I take the packet out of the issue, then it doesn't matter if I don't finish it. So we'll see how we get on. I think we'll probably do this okay.
And do you want to see what's coming in next week's issue, or?
Well, I've got next week's issue in front of me, so should we just go straight into the parts list?
Yeah, let me just get 50.
Yeah, you know, showing people what's coming in the next issue, and then we do the next issue.
Yeah, it's pointless.
Yeah, people would be like, yeah, I know. I know. Thanks for showing us, guys. But yeah, we knew that was coming because you just showed us a couple of seconds ago.
Yeah, 58 Mk1a.
51. So, yeah, here we go. 240 knows that I'm giggling inside now because he's just made this comment.
Yeah, what does that say?
Pellet with the poison in it is in the chalice from the palace. The cable with the label has the brew that is true. And then Justin Summerfield. Now, there's someone who I have not spoken to for a very long time. He's contacted me for a few times for a bit of help. And I'm always happy to help anybody, especially when I've actually got the time to help people. You know, it's I know he did struggle with the engine, with the wiring and everything, but he did actually struggle on one of the other issues as well. And, you know, this is something that I've said. That last issue that I've just done, I thought that was relatively simple if you follow the instructions. but that's not to say that there'll be someone out there that isn't going to have trouble with it.
Yeah.
And then that very same person may find an issue that I find difficult. They may find it very easy.
That's the same as me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Especially
surprised. Yeah, with the bus, there was an issue. I remember there was one issue, and I said, "Oh, you're going to struggle with this," and you had it done within about a minute.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how are we getting on? Sections of the wing flaps are fitted.
And the cable is connected to operate the wing flaps. Okay, here we go then. Ready for a parts list?
Parts list, ahoy. So,
Part
we
one.
seem to have an awful lot of parts that are going to look fairly similar. So I think I will get all of my parts out and I will actually lay them out. So part 57.1.
Yeah, 58.1, which is end of left wing flap.
Hey? No, you should be on 57.1.
We're done 57 just now, don't we?
No, we haven't. I hope not, because I don't remember doing that gear.
Hang on a minute.
That's all right. It's fine. Do you want me to go through the parts list while you find that?
I've got it.
Okay, you've got it.
I thought we were going to.
So, as you can see, we are using the Facebook group Build a Spitfire show. Adrian is very good. He does scan he only scans the magazine instructions in.
Yeah,
but they're all on the website. He doesn't scan the articles in. You have to buy the magazines to see the articles. But and we checked this with Harshette. They're okay with us doing the instructions because you cannot follow the instructions without purchasing the parts.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So 57.1 is gear housing.
So this is. I can't think of a better way to say this, and I don't mean this derogatory. This looks like that cheap plastic. You used to get those cheap plastic cracker toys, the toys used to get out of crackers. But it is very sturdy. It's a little bit see-through. It doesn't matter because I can see that you're not going to see this once the model's built. But I think this plastic has been chosen more for its function rather than aesthetics. So I'm saying it looks like that cheap plastic, but it's not a cheap plastic. It is good. So, and I think it's going to go that way, but it might go that way because I just got that circle bit there. So that's going to go there, just slightly on camera where the light is shining.
Yeah. So in part 2 then, is it?
Yeah, part 2 has got exactly the same wording, isn't it? Gear housing.
Yeah, gear housing, yeah.
So is that going to go on there like that somehow with the gear going in? It looks like it could do. We'll find out when we read the instructions.
Yeah.
57.
3 is cog housing.
Sorry?
Cog housing.
Cog housing. So these are a little bit tricky for me to get out with my fingers, but that's the cog housing. So I'm going to assume because there's a cog there, maybe the cog will go in there. And that's the housing for. There we go. P40F20, the plastic is nylon and is self-lubricating. Do not add any grease. That's why it looks a bit cheapy, but it's strong. Nylon is strong. I've done 3D printing with nylon. It's an absolute bugger to print because it needs to be printed at high temperature. But it's a really good, strong plastic. Really, really good.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. When I say cheap, it doesn't. I don't mean it's cheap and nasty. I'm using it as a comparison. So don't think I'm being negative. I will be negative if I feel it is something horrible to talk about, but I haven't really found anything bad to say about this. Anyway, 57.4.
Flat cog.
Right, one flat cog. Now this is. I am wary of this. This is a plastic cog. We had plastic cogs in the propeller and they wore out virtually immediately by the time we've done issue 3, I think. So I'm a bit wary of that, but we'll see. It might be enough. So we got 5 and
5 is cog for motor shaft.
Right, I think this is the cog for the motor shaft. And the reason I say that, it's got a little cog on. However, looking at the magazine, there's another piece that looks very similar. In fact, they look exactly the same, except that, can you see from there, they look, one's got a hole in, one hasn't, and one's got threading a cog down the side and one hasn't. So I'm actually going to put these two together. Yeah, look, they've got a different size connecting hole. So although at the moment I don't know which one is which, when we come to fit this, we will find out, because if we've got a tiny hole and we're trying to put it into there, it should actually be that one. And we can't fit a big square cross in there, but we can in there. So I'll just put these two together as though they're the same part, and then we'll find out which is which when we come to fit it. So don't panic if you don't know which is which.
Yeah.
Right.
What part are we on now? 6?
We're on part 7 now. We've got 5 and 6. 5 is a cog for the motor shaft, and 6 is the connecting cog.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the connecting cog.
Yeah.
But that's really only a guess. But like I say, we'll find out when we need to fit it.
Yeah, part 7 is the obvious one because there's a red lens.
Yeah.
For LED.
So that's the red lens. So for you, I can tell from that little collar on the end, that's going to pop into something, and that will hold in. But we've done similar things to this before with the wingtip lights and various other builds. We've put lights on.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 is LED and the cable.
LED cable. So I haven't looked yet, but what do you reckon? Do you think it'll be a round LED or the square LED that they've been giving us?
The square
It's a
one.
round one. It's a round one. So I reckon that'll be a white one, won't it? That's why they've given us this
Lens, yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out. We might test this later on. Will we have the opportunity to test it?
Yeah.
Do you think? So I'll lay that. It's out of order, but it's laid across the top.
Yeah.
So that gives us piece number 9, the comedy piece.
Yeah. Cable label.
Cable label, and this is L9, not M. So L for light, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, and the next one.
Fine wire cable, which is part 10.
And that is a very fine. I think that is.
Yeah.
That feels like cotton, but I suspect it's probably a nylon.
Yeah.
Nylon thread.
And then 11 is legs
So
11.
a little connector at the end and a little connector at the other end. So if you've got a dark carpet and you drop that, you're probably never going to find it again. So, sorry, what was the last one?
Legs 11, which is gear shaft.
Yeah, shaft, right. That's, I'm going to have to look at, I'm going to have to cut this open. So, but I'm not going to store this on the table. I'm going to store this in the pot. I haven't cut the, haven't quite cut enough of the bag off. Right, so we tip all of those into there. Right, so this is the gear shaft. So this is pretty much exactly the same as the pin that we put the flaps on with, except it's much longer. So I'm going to put that in there, where that's, if I should knock that, that'll be safe. So that leaves a few sets of screws.
12 is 2x4 PM screws, one spare, which is the silver ones.
Right. So the difference between the two screws, one is 1.7 by 4 mil and the other one is 2 by 4 mil. So the only difference between these two screws, apart from the color, is 0.3 millimeters in thickness. I can't tell you which is which, but what I can tell you, there's 3 of one and 9 of the other. So I can see that there's 3 silver ones. So that means that these silver ones, because there's 3, these are the 2 by 4 mil. So, and that is not the screw that I wanted. So we'll pick one screw up, 2, 3. So I've got my screws separated. So I now know, purely because of the number, they're 2 mil, they're 1.7, based on the number of screws there are. I could get a fancy pair of calipers and try to measure them, but yeah, I think it would have been common knowledge that they've given the wrong screws if they had done by now. But yeah, and these 3 are metal screws, and these 9 are plastic screws. M for metal, B for plastic. Don't know why they use the letter B, but there you go.
There we are then. Yeah.
So, shall we tally ho?
Yeah, step 1 then, is it?
Step 1.
Yeah. Fit the Cog 57.5 on the shaft of the motor 56.1 supplied with the previous issue.
Lovely.
The insert above shows the cog in place on the motor shaft.
Right. Perfect. So we said that we would find out which cog is which when it comes time to fit it. We've reached stage number 1, and I can see that there's no detailing down the side there.
Looks like it's got some sort of brush at it.
Yeah. So, and also if you look at this motor, it's got a cross connector. So I know this one is flat and it's got a cross connector. So all we're going to do now, it's not a tight fit. So you see that if I let go, that's going to come off. So I'm actually not going to attach it just yet until we have a look at step 2 and we see what's going to happen in step 2.
Yeah. Step 2. Fit the motor 56.1 and Cog 57.5 into the Cog Housing 57.3. As indicated, the screw holes on the part should align blue arrows. See also step 3.
Right. Okay. Should we read step 3 as well?
Yeah.
Before, you know how sometimes they over simplify the instructions.
Yeah.
And I've just had a little look at them, and I've just thought of a little tool, that one of my favorite tools that I use that I think is going to be handy in this particular circumstance.
Yeah.
Anyone who knew me really, really well is probably just thought a couple of minutes ago, she's going to get some masking tape out for that.
Yeah. And step 3 is check that the cable from the motor is running in the direction indicated by the blue arrow. Fix the motor to the cog housing using 2 PB 1.7 × 4 mil screws.
Right. Okay. So what we're basically doing is getting this piece number 57.3. We're balancing this cog on the end of this motor, and then we are fiddling around and bouncing out. It might be okay. So you see how that's quite fiddly. This motor wants to sit on the outside there, but we don't want to lose this cog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of masking tape, which is this is also known as low tack tape. I think Harshette refers to it as low tack tape. And there we go. It's you see the motor's fallen out, but that cog is still in there.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now is we'll make sure that's in there. This even holding it in, it's still a bit fiddly. Right. So that's in there like that. And guess what I didn't do?
Put your screw on the screwdriver.
Put the screw on the screwdriver. So we need 2 by PB, which are the black screws.
1.7, yeah.
Yeah, this is one. Yeah, the black ones. We've got more numerous ones. These are the plastic screws.
Yeah.
So we're screwing this into plastic, so we don't want to over tighten. But you know me, that first screw, can you see I've only put that in enough just to bite.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I do all of my screws, because then if we've got it in wrong, and it is a possibility, and in fact, I think I have. The reason I think I've done it wrong, if you look, if you look at piece number stage 3, can you see the wire goes off that way?
Yeah.
It may not make a difference, but let's get it the same way as the magazine.
Yeah, maybe the best.
Just in case, I'd hate to build the next 20 or 30 issues only to find out that I've got this the wrong way round. As I say, it may not make a difference, but let's not take that chance. So in actual fact, this is going to be the more tricky side. So let me do the other side first, because by doing the other side first, I think that will make this one easier. Right, so that's in enough to bite. And then we'll get the second one in. I'm only going to put this one in enough to bite. And then, and I think this is going to be fairly important, I'm going to take that masking tape off to make sure that cog is still engaged properly. Right, which is now come off. So that idea may possibly not have worked well. Oh, actually, that's fine. Obviously, something's going to go over the top of this. And I think once whatever's gone in the top, that's going to hold that in better. But that's fine. So I'm just going to pop that masking tape back over.
Yeah.
I could hold it with my thumb, but, you know, more fingers make it easier, doesn't it? So let's finish that, screwing that in. And remember, we're going to get the screw to tell us when it's ready to stop.
Yeah.
There we go. And we'll test that. I think that one just wants a tiny turn more. Not much. There we go. And I'm going to leave that masking. No, I'm going to just pull it up, check that cog is still in there properly. Yeah. See, that's not coming out so easily. But I'm still going to pop masking tape over just until we actually engage. It might be done in this issue, but I want to just make sure that see, like you can see now that cog isn't coming out because of the masking tape. Okay, so what's on step 4?
A lot of stuff, right? One.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. No, it's good because we've had a few issues where we've done not a lot of stuff, and now we're doing issues where we're doing a lot of stuff. So it's all balanced, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Step 4, take the gear housing 57.2, fit the cog 57.4 into the center of the housing, ensuring that it is the right way up. Note that the flange on the cog should be positioned against the block, I mean.
Right.
Inset arrow.
Yeah, I did wonder that. Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that there's a little flange there. And what that's going to do is give us a starting position. So this is 57.2. And you'll notice that with this cog, we've got a normal, what I'm going to call a normal pin. And then on this side, we've got like a split. And it needs to go, let's call it normal pin down. So we can put that in any way we want. But once we've got the cog in, we want to just move that cog all the way anti-clockwise. So it's like going from 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see how that moves? But so there's a little start position. I guess that's why we're putting it in there. Okay, and then on to step 5.
Yeah. Fit the connecting cog 57.6 into the recess in the gear housing 57.2. So that the teeth on the side of the cog 57.6 engage with the teeth on the cog 57.4.
Right. Could you also read step 6?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it might be easier to do it slightly different from the instructions, and by looking ahead, it'll give us a choice.
Yeah. Step 6: fit the shaft 57.11 into the hole in the connecting cog 57.6 and into the socket in the gear casing 57.2.
Right. I wonder if it's actually going to be easier to fit the shaft into there and then put it in, but I'm going to try it as per the instructions. So holding that in that position, we're then going to put that in. Actually, that holds pretty well. Not as well as I'd like. So we will do it with the instructions, but I wondered if rather than putting that in first, we could perhaps put that in there. Yeah, look, we could put that in first if we wanted. That's a really loose fit. So we've got a lot of parts here, guys, where we've got to be really careful. Because look, one knock at that, not one knock of that, and that is going to go flying.
Yeah.
So, but having a look at the next step, I can see now why that cog needs to be in the position it's in.
Yeah.
So would you like to read that?
7, is it?
No, stage 7, yes.
Yeah, okay. Take the fine wire cable 5710 and fit it centrally in the slot across the top of the cog 57.4. The wire cable fits into the notches in the sides of the gear housing blue arrow.
Right. So I didn't notice the notches, but obviously now that it's mentioned them, I'm now looking for them.
Yeah.
And I can also see that by having this cog in the position it wants us to, you can see that that split in there is going straight across, and there are the notches. So I think the easiest way to do this cable is to take both ends and pull it really tight, and then that will just fit into there, no problems. And look at that. That is almost like it's made to measure, isn't it? It's made to fit in there. So, in fact, you know what? I got my masking tape out. Let's have a bit of fun and overuse it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tape the end of that wire down, and then if I then tape this end of the wire down as well, can you see how it's keeping that wire straight?
Yeah.
So that's giving me a little work area. So look, I've taped the wire down over the top of that, and it will also secure. Can you see how it's securing that just a little bit? So that might be really useful. Although I suspect this is one of those situations where if it goes bad, it's going to go very bad. But we'll see. Okay. So step 8. Now, first thing I'm going to say with step 8 is they've reversed the orientation. If you look at step 7, this is actually correct.
Yeah.
They've reversed it because I've now taped these wires down. I'm not going to flip it around unless I pick the whole desk up and move the whole. Well, I could move the cutting board, but it's just easier to work upside down.
Yeah. So step 8, take the gear housing 57.1 and fit it on top of gear housing 57.2 so that the screw holes are aligned. As you fit it, ensure that the wire cable 5710 and cog 57.4 are in the correct position. Right,
lovely. So I'm liking this. What this is going to do is it's going to bolt down that wire and that cog. It's not going to bolt down this cog there. The next step will do that. Sorry, just read step 9 as well because it goes with step 8.
Yeah, okay. Fix the gear housing parts 57.1 and 57.2 together using 4 PB 1.7 times 4mm screws. At this stage, the shaft 5711 and connecting cog 57.6 are not fixed, but it is important that they remain in position.
Right. So obviously this is the opposite orientation. So on the magazine, this little recess piece is down. It's going to need to go up. It's going to cover all of that except for that shaft and the cog. So that's going to go there like so. And there we go. It just sits on top. I thought it was going to lock into place, but it doesn't really lock into place. Now, I'm going to test that that's in right by moving this housing.
Yeah.
So I can see that that is not clamping it down because it's got the little notches in the side. Right. So then what I'll do now is the problem we've got is, I say problem, it's not really a problem, but because I only ever fit these first screws in just enough to bite, it's not going to hold it all down. But we need to just keep checking that it's not crimping that nylon wire. If it clamps it in, it's not going to work. You can see that it needs to move freely. That's not how it's going to move, because obviously with the cogs, it's going to move round and it's going to pull that cable in and then release it. That's now why we needed those hinges to be moving freely, because it's going to pull the wing flaps. Or this is confirmed for the wing flaps, is it?
Yeah.
But when it turns, it's going to pull the wing flaps up.
I think yeah.
And then when it goes out, the weight of the wing flaps is going to pull that out. So, but I haven't touched it, but I think that cog is going to be very loose, so we want to be careful. Right, so I've got my 4 screws in just enough to bite. I can see that we've still got movement there, so it's not crimped. It's definitely keeping within the channels, and I can't see if it's in the cog in the middle, but because this is tight, I believe it is. So let's finish tightening this one. And that's telling me to stop there. And that cog has just come out of the middle. So I'm just going to finish this one. Right, that still hasn't caught. I'm going to try and adjust this. Yeah. I think the reason why we don't want to move that cog is because if we move that cog, it could move the cog in the middle. And we need that on that start position. So I am confident that that piece is fine, and that's gone in. It's not the most important thing that I can think of right now is that this nylon cable, wire, cotton, whatever you want to call it, is definitely through those notches, and we know it's not crimped because we can move it. Does that make sense to everybody? But like I say, if you know how cogs work, you move that cog that way to move the inner cog that way. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a turn. But because these are taped down, you can't move that cog anyway, because it's the force here is stronger than the force in the middle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that part done there. So yeah, now I think the next 2 stages are going to be the hard ones. I think this is going to be fiddly. So can we take this a little tiny bit slower than normal for my benefit? So step 10.
Yeah. Take the motor and cog housing assembly from step 3. Fit it on top of the gear housing 57.1. Is that enough so far? Do we keep carry on?
Right. Sorry, I'm going to move the camera. So you're going to be upside down, but you're going to get the same orientation as the magazine. But it's also going to give me a little bit more workspace. So, so step 9 and step 10 is essentially sorry guys, bear with me a sec. I might have just knocked my cable a little bit.
Yeah, that's because on my avatar now.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's got right. Bear with me. Sorry, I must have just knocked the cable as I moved it.
That's fine.
There we go. That's picked it up. Right. Sorry about that. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to put this motor onto there. So I'm guessing you don't have the same orientation, but yeah. So it's going to come off here.
Yeah.
So I've got to carefully remove this masking tape, making sure this cog doesn't fall out. That is actually fit. Do you know what? That's not as fiddly as I thought it was going to be, because look, that cog isn't falling out. So I'm just going to read this comment, because when P40 says something, it's always worth watching. It is important that the cog be in the correct position. The cable will end up moving about as you install this housing. The cable will sort itself out in the end. Right. So The fact that this cable's in, so it was a good idea to do this, was it? But that cog is in there fine. That's going to go. These two holes there want to go onto those two holes there. So this cog, no, I've got it the wrong way round. Sorry. Right. So these holes there do want to go over there, but it wants to come in from this side. So you see this little recess there, that's for the housing to sit on. So yeah, and then this cog wants to engage there. I'm sorry that the view isn't right. P40 says there was no real need to tape it down, but then you know me, I love masking tape. Right. So I can also see the bit I forgot. We're going to be putting a screw through there. Oh, hang on. Those two holes. Can you see there's a little hole there? Yeah, a little hole there.
Yeah.
That's where the shaft's going to go. So you're actually getting 3 points of contact. And I think it's going to be easier to line up the hole in the shaft, then bring the screw holes in, lose the hole in the shaft, try to regain it. That is in. So we'll just check that shaft is in, which it is. That I'm happy with. And we'll finish that off with the 2 more black screws. And
what step are we on?
We're on step 11 now. 10.
I didn't completely finish step 10.
Yeah, 10 is to place that housing on.
Oh yeah. Fix the
11.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, carry on. Fix the cog housing.
57.3 to the top of the gear housing, 57.1 using 2 PV 1.74 mil screws.
Right. So also, can you see why I did change the motor housing to suit the wire? Because if I now have to undo all of this, even now, it's going to be quite a hassle to do that.
Yeah.
So if it's the wrong way round, it's not my fault because I've just followed the instructions to the letter, and I can blame someone else. Life's easier when you can blame someone else. Right. That told me to stop. So I think I have done that. We've got more work to do because we've got 3 more screws, but I think that's this housing done. So let's just have a quick look at the next step. Yeah, so that's this housing done. And that is a bit of fiddly work. And for those of you like me who like fiddly stuff, you will really love this if you haven't already done it. But I would say that, look, I'm moving the cable, so I haven't nipped that cable. You see, it's going through that notch. And I suspect that's the really important bit. Yeah. That it doesn't get it doesn't get clamped in. So, whew, that was slightly challenging, wasn't it? But fun. Very good fun that was. I enjoyed that. So, and we've still got more of the issue to come. Yeah, so what have we got next then? Stage 12.
Stage 12. Take the cable label 57.9 and the LED cable 57.8. Remove the label from its backing and wrap it around the end of the cable, close to the connector as shown. And that's it.
Right. So there's the cable label, which is upside down because I've moved the camera. Yeah. There's the cable. There's the connector. So we'll just take that. And this one says L9 on it. There we go. And just left a little bit of a gap for my thumb. So that's stage 12 done.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to move the camera because I'm just seeing what's coming the next stage. But I know Chris is about to call the next stage, aren't you?
Yeah, what do people call it 13? Baker's dozen.
13 is unlucky. Oh, it's a baker's dozen, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's lucky for some, yeah, but what it doesn't.
Well, Chris, read stage 13 and 14 out.
Yeah.
Quick quiz for you, no prizes. Does anybody know why it's called a baker's dozen?
I certainly do.
Right, so get reading then, Chris, and we'll give people a chance to write the answer.
Yeah, fit the LED lens 57.7 into the hole in the center of the fuselage panel 20-1 as shown. That's 13. 14. Fit the LED on the end of the cable 57.8 into the red LED lens 57.7. The black and red cables should be aligned as shown.
Right, lovely. So, what we're going to do, and I've just... Don't tell me I've lost that part. Oh, no.
Probably underneath your Spitfire, is it?
Oh, no. Chris?
What have you done? Lift the Spitfire up, because you did have it on your mat earlier.
I think I moved the box down and not... Oh, I got it. It was sorry. It was... I put it between my knife and my screwdriver.
Oh, sugar. Don't like that.
Yeah. So, sorry, guys. I had a panic. Right. I'm gonna switch to overhead for this one. It's not going to be a great view, but I think it's going to be better.
Probably will be, I think.
Really bad. I've got another idea. So, on the actual middle panel that we got many, many weeks ago, there's a hole where we fit the fuselage piece. It's just under. It's just above it there. You can see the little black circle there in between the two motors that we fitted in the last one. Yeah. And all I'm going to do is, as carefully as I can, I'm just going to drop that in there like that. So I'm not going to lift my Spitfire up, guys. I do apologize, but you should be able to see the little red light from underneath. And then we take this, and I think we've got the red cable is towards the front and the black is towards the back. So we're just going to drop that in like that. And I'm just going to push it like that. And it's not quite sitting properly, but I think you'll find we haven't got this far yet, but stage 15, we're going to put this in. You see there's a little notch, and it looks like the LED is going to come through that notch. So although that's not very secure at the moment, and now I can see why they're telling us to do it in that orientation, because the wire is going to end up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to read stage 15 out?
Yeah. So 15. Take the motor and cog assembly from step 11. Slot the cable 57.8 between the prongs of the gear housing 57.2 below arrow. Fit the gear housing onto the marked area on the fuselage panel for 20-1 so that the screw holes are aligned as indicated by the red arrows.
Right. So there's the area that we're dealing with there. And we'll quickly read out stage 16, which will be the last one. But again, this is the instructions being slightly oversimplified. They're splitting them over two stages. We can get away with one.
Fix the gear housing assembly in place using 2 PM 2x4mm screws. The prong on part 57 to hold the LED on the end of the cable 57 in place in the red lens.
So basically what I just said, it's going to go through the prong. So I've got my screw ready on my screwdriver. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this housing in like so with the prongs down. I'm going to hold. There's a lot of wiring to get in your way, guys. So just try and be a bit organized there. So I'm going to bring that prong into the LED. Then I'm going to bring the housing down.
Yeah.
And that's gone in fine. However, that cable, it's fallen fully on this side, but not much on that side. So rather than lift the whole lot out, I'm just going to grab some tweezers. And I'm just going to pull hold that down. I just want to pull some of that cable through now while I can. So it's just roughly even, but we're focusing more on the screw holes than we are on the cable. So this LED, see, that's now being clamped in, and that's going straight up. And then we'll get our first screw. Doesn't matter which way round we do it. I'm going to put the first one in, just enough to bite. And that's not gone in. Right, and the screw has come out. So I'm going to have to pull all of this out. Where is that screw gone, guys?
Don't know.
This is why they give us a spare. You know me, I don't generally lose screws. Right, I'd be concerned where that's dropped. Okay, bear with me, guys. I've got a bit of a... I'm not going to use the word emergency, but I think I'm going to have to tip the Spitfire upside down and find that screw. It's kind of jumped, didn't engage properly.
Yeah.
Didn't go in. And I can't see where it went. Okay, it's not on the end of the screwdriver. It's a case of, can I leave it in there? Would it interfere with something later on if I left it in there? So I want to try and find it. Sorry about this, guys.
Do you want to tip your Spitfire upside down?
I just did, and
oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see it. Yeah.
Take it too much. Maybe it didn't land in the Spitfire. That's why.
Might have landed on the desk or floor.
Well, I've got this in a box. I've got the actual Spitfire stand in a box lid.
Hang on, did I see something?
I've also got sticky tape in here, so it could have stuck to the tape.
Yeah, it could have been anything, see?
Let me just have a look. Sorry, guys.
If you're concerned about it, yeah.
I just don't know the effect of having a loose screw. I mean, I've lived my whole life with a screw loose, but I don't know if it's... Wow. Things do go wrong, but... Right, okay. I mean, it could actually be in the Cog Housing. Ah! Right, something just dropped out. Yeah, so it has dropped out. I didn't see where it dropped, but it dropped. So that, yeah, okay, that's...
Yeah, it dropped in, yeah.
It is out, but I don't know where it is. So, yeah, it's not often this happens for me, guys, but I've lost a screw and I'm using the spare screw. So I really am not going to panic. So I'm going to put the... I'm going to put this back in. So we're going to bring the prongs in. Then we're going to line the housing up. It's not the most fantastic fit, but it will go in. Ah, there we go. It will go in. Right, so I've got to be careful now because I've not got any more spare screws. So... I mean, it might not have gone in because maybe I didn't have the... yeah, I can feel that engaging. I think I didn't quite have the screw lined up in the first place. I didn't have the holes lined up. So there's a lesson. I got a little bit complacent there.
Yeah.
It come back to bite me on the bum.
At least you rectified the problem.
Yes, yeah. So...
I like that word, rectify.
Rectify, yeah. Right, so they're both enough to bite. So this one feels like maybe it's not going in quite right. And because it's... there we go. Yeah, that's in. These want to go in quite tight because they're screwing into metal. But remember that they're clamping a piece of plastic. You shouldn't probably break that plastic, but don't chance it. Right, so that housing is in.
Yeah.
very tight, and I just want to check that cable again. Yeah, look, that still moves freely. So far, I am happy with that, and that is end of issue.
Yeah, that's it.
Ooh.
And that's finished like that now.
Be careful what you wish for, guys, because the last few issues I've been wishing for something a little bit more technical, and boy, have I got it in the last few issues.
Yeah.
Right, guys, do you want to do another issue? I had 5 ready. We've done 4, but at the same time,
How do you feel, Pen, about another issue? It's 10 o'clock now.
No, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's up to you. If you want to carry on, you crack on.
Most people watching have probably already done this issue.
Yeah.
And the issue is 15 stages. So I'm tempted to say let's leave it for another stream.
Yeah, why not?
Should we do another catch-up stream?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a quick look at the schedule. And there is nothing on Sunday.
Yeah, do I bring the schedule on the screen to me?
Yeah.
That's what I normally do. I'll read it up for you now if you want.
Yeah.
Right,
I can see that we've got something Sunday. So would you guys like a stream on Sunday? And we'll do a few issues.
Sunday afternoon.
Right, the issue will finish the flaps. To be honest with you, it's 10 o'clock. I'm finding out that my desk isn't in the best position.
Yeah.
And my back's hurting just a little bit. As it stands right now, I can see there's a Thursday and a Friday and a Sunday free. And I could also do streams around other people.
You could do it tomorrow as well, Penny, if you like, but before mine.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. Let me have a day off because too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, shall we do a stream on Sunday?
Oh, yeah, go on. What time?
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is a normal time for streaming.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do a few issues on Sunday, and we'll start to slow it down now. If I do too many issues too quickly, we're then going to end up with a big gap before the next one.
Yeah,
why have I got my logo? If you look just above my head, that's my window.
Yeah.
It's the reflection of the monitor. I can see my YouTube logo in my window. That's really weird. Sorry, right. Let me do a catch up with the chat then. So P40 said there was no real need to tape the cable down. No, that was me. I like more than 12. Baker's dozen is 13. So now the story I heard as to why a baker's dozen is 13 is people would go to the bakers and they would ask for, say, a dozen bread rolls. And then, you'd get a dozen. And then the baker would slip an extra one in for the housewife or something, and that's why they would be 13. P40 says, "Don't worry about the position of the cable; it'll be a correct position after you've clicked."
Yeah, we're that. Yeah.
Dave Max says, "I'm calling it a night, guys. I'm up at 5 in the morning. Great stream and build. Penny, good night, all. Thank you."
Yeah, Dave Mac, I'll see you tomorrow live.
All right, brilliant. Yeah. P40 says the issue will finish off the flaps.
Yeah.
P40 F20. I think Dano Bills may have a live on Sunday. Look, I'll be honest with you, right? The spreadsheet that we're using, the spreadsheet that we're always using, it has nothing on a Sunday. I am aware that there is another spreadsheet for which I'm not allowed access to.
Yeah.
Don't know why. But until I'm denied access, I'm going to carry on using this spreadsheet. And I've said before, I'm trying not to bring politics into this, but I read that spreadsheet out. If it's not on the spreadsheet, as far as that is concerned, there isn't a stream and there is an available slot for streaming. If it's on the spreadsheet, I will try to be courteous and work around it. So, for example, I won't be streaming tomorrow at 8 o'clock because I know someone's streaming at 8 o'clock. So I do apologize. We have these excuses for calling shows out and not calling out shows. As you can see on the screen, there is nothing on Sunday. So
evident.
Yeah. So let's do another little catch up on Sunday. I really don't know. I know Horlicks often does Thursdays, but he's not put the show on. So I don't know what to do. But I think also he does 7 o'clock, and most of his bills last about an hour. So but I'm on friendly terms with Horlicks, so I might just drop him a little message anyway, unless he replies on the chat. So Sunday 8 o'clock. Are you happy with that, Chris? Would you like to help me if you're able to?
I'm always I do everything on a Sunday at that time anyway.
I might send a little couple of messages out and see if we'll see if we can bring a new face to the channel. Not replacing you, Chris. But yeah,
if you want to keep me on with a guest, then that will work fine.
Yeah, and it keeps the chat and the fun going as well, doesn't it? P40 says, excellent session, Flight Lieutenant. Off to debrief now with your section. It means a hell of a lot to me when you say things like that, P40. I know you're an honest guy, and you are very much. You'll say something nice if it's worth saying. And if it's nothing else to say, you will either say it or you won't say anything at all. So thank you so much.
Yeah, everyone P40 as well at the banter as well. That's good.
Yeah. Right, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we've got Chris Davis doing the Jaguar issue. I can't read that. And that's also going out on Chris Campling's channel.
68 and 69 tomorrow.
Yep. Sunday, obviously there's nothing on there at the moment, but we've said that we'll be doing another Build a Spitfire on Sunday. That'll be at 8 o'clock. Monday, we're doing Build a Terminator issue 113 to 114.
Yeah.
That's 8 o'clock. Now, the builder is Chris Campling, but that will also go out on Chris Davis's channel. Tuesday, I can do full screen on that. Oh, that's easier to read on full screen. Tuesday, Build with Adrian. He's doing Build a Ferrari F40, issue 42, the sound system. And that's at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday we have Paint with Diamond Show issue 44. That's at show 44. That's at 2 o'clock. Now I did mention this last night, and I'm going to mention it again. I have a really, really special announcement. So please don't catch that, and you'll catch my special announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at 8 o'clock we have Build with Adrian, Part Work Show, Spitfire 66 and Terminator 116. He's still got that question mark, which I'm assuming means that he will be doing it if he gets his issues.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to come Monday, Tuesday, so I think he'll be all right. And then Thursday, Friday, we've got nothing planned on the spreadsheet. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to commit to anything yet for next Thursday, Friday. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so other than that, I will see you guys on Sunday.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, so we'll do a few issues on the Sunday, and then we'll see how it goes. And I made a little plan to do 5 issues. As soon as I planned that, I thought, I might have bitten off more because we've done more work today than we did doing 7 issues on yesterday. So I think actually planning to do so many issues is probably not the best idea, unless it's 2 issues. We can normally always do 2 issues. But yeah, so I'm happy with the progress today. We've done a little bit more. Rather technical, I thought. So yeah, like I say, if you be careful what you wish for. I wish for a lot more technical issue, and I got a hell of a lot more technical issue. So P40 says Eagle Squadron, we fly with Captain Langley on Wednesday. And P40 says all watching, hit the thumbs up button.
Exactly, guys. And then yeah, what's coming on my channel then was which is a Jag fuel tank, which is 60.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow. And then we've got the Jag spare wheel cover, I think this is, or settings to do with the spare back wheel.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, if you want to know more, watch Chris Davis's or Chris Campling's channel on Monday.
As if P40 still on, yeah. This is what I had was troubling if you didn't watch the other day. The steering now is fixed, which the other day I had problems on Monday.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yes, you didn't. Let me just pop you onto solo view so we can see you.
Yeah, because what it was, I found out as well, which I did not notice this P40, as this wheel was wobbly. But now, because the screw where it connects into the knuckle is tighter, and actually fixed it, and now it turns with the bar now, look.
Brilliant. No. Well, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but my Ecto has quite stiff steering. But I'll be honest with you, my thoughts are that it's nice if the steering works.
Yeah,
but once I've got it in the display case, I'm probably not going to be. It's like the bus, you know. Unless you've got the bus wheels off the ground, the steering is just too hard. But to be honest with you, I'm not even with it slightly off the ground. I'm not fiddling with the steering much.
Yeah.
Right, guys. So if that's everything, I'm going to say goodbye now. If everyone's happy, so I will leave it to Chris Davis to say goodbye.
Yeah, guys, and thanks for watching tonight, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Pen. It was a pleasure.
Nice to have you on. It's nice to see you.
It's always if people doesn't know my channel, I'll show you quickly what my avatar is. If anyone's new, doesn't know me from this one, give me a second. That's my if I can get into focusing screen. That's my channel, guys.
I've frozen.
I've got it put there. It's on the thing.
Oh, let me bring a screenshot up.
Yeah.
Right, guys. So I'll put a link in the chat.
Yeah.
Let me turn that.
New to the channel, yeah.
Right. So let's do a little bit into the chat. I should actually have posted a link into the description, shouldn't I?
Not
share screen. So there you go. That is Chris Davis World channel. So he's doing
if anyone wants to give an idea for me to make a new cover photo, that would be brilliant.
I mean, that's a really nice background, but yeah, you talked about if someone wants to help you out, do something a bit more appropriate.
Yeah, because I want to get something which matches my avatar, the photo.
Yeah. Well, you never know. I might have the time one day to have a little bash myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, we'll put that out there. Maybe someone will be helpful. Obviously, mention it on your stream and show as well. Right, guys. So I'm going to end the stream there. I thank you all for watching, and I hope to catch all of you plus a few more on Sunday. So,
and then you catch me on Saturday, guys.
On Saturday, yeah. So take care, guys. Bye bye.
Take care, guys.